Hey, if this video found you, it's for a reason. It's a synchronicity, not a coincidence. So your spirit guide brought this video to you because there's something that I'm going to tell you that you're going to really resonate with. So I want to start by telling you a story that happened to me. And this is like kind of freaky, but it's pretty cool. So about 8 years ago, I was pregnant with my very first child. And at the time, my husband and I, we wanted to be surprised. So we didn't find out if it was a boy or a girl. We were just like, let the baby come out and we're going to be surprised. So I was about 8 months pregnant. And first of all, I had this deep intuition that I was having a girl. I just knew. Nobody could convince me otherwise. I'm like, I'm having a girl. So, I could see her, right? I didn't have any other kids yet. So there's no reason why I would think that she would look a certain way because I didn't have other kids to like bounce that idea off of, right? But when I was pregnant with her, I knew it was a girl. I knew her name. It came to me synchronistically. And then I knew what she would look like. I knew she was going to have blonde hair. And, right, so knowing that information, right, that's what I knew. So I'm sitting at work. I used to be a loan officer at a mortgage company. I'm sitting at my desk. And all of a sudden, in my third eye, I see this little girl. And she looks to be around 3 or 4 years old. And she walks up and she's got kind of like olive skin, like tanned olive skin, and she's got long brown curly hair with big brown eyes, and she's just looking at me. And so in my head, I look at her and I go, "Who are you?" And she goes, "Cassidy." And I said, "Whoa, okay, what are you doing here?" And then she ran away, and then I never saw her again. So that was the first incidence of this, right? And so I was like, well, that was interesting. I wonder who that was. Now, some people might say maybe it was your daughter, but I knew, nope, that's not her. I could just feel the energy that wasn't her. And like I said, I could tell psychically like what my daughter was going to look like. So I was like, I know that's not her spirit, but I wonder whose it is. Okay, so I let it go, right? And I ended up having 3 kids. And of course, the first baby was a girl, just like I thought. And she has blonde hair, just like I thought. So it definitely wasn't her. We have 2 more kids, and they were boys. So I'm like, okay, and we're done having kids now. So I'm like, okay, so that little girl she was not one of my children, right? So I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so I'm doing this exercise, like fast forward like 5 years, I'm doing this exercise where you meditate and you're supposed to see someone from the other side come through, right? So 5 years have gone by, right? 5 years, not thinking of this little girl whatsoever. It's been 5 years. Haven't even discussed her since. Well, I'm doing the meditation, and all of a sudden I see smoke, like purple smoke, when I'm doing the meditation. I'm like, okay, purple smoke feels like a female spirit because of the color purple. But also, purple is very, like, intuitive, like, color, right? It's the color of the crown chakra, violet. So I'm seeing all this purple smoke, and then, lo and behold, you know who comes through the purple smoke? The little girl. Yeah, the little girl with the tan skin and the brown curly hair. Now, I want to also throw in, whenever this happened to me, every time I get like a name or a word, I always Google it because I feel like that is the significance of getting a name. So the fact that I heard the name Cassidy, I didn't think that was necessarily her name. I thought there was something symbolic about the name, and that's why the spirit chose that name to give me, which I was right, because I go on Google, I type in, what does the name Cassidy mean? Guess what it means? Curly-haired one. Curly-haired one. And that was something that was very prominent with her. She had the long brown curly hair. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy, right? That's weird. So I see her again, and I'm calling her Cassidy just because like that's what I'm calling her. Yeah, so she shows up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's you. And I was like, but who are you? And why have you come to me again? Because you're not one of my children. It's interesting, right? So I'm pregnant with my 3rd baby, who's a boy, right? So while I'm pregnant with him, I'm getting images of a little girl, which guess what? It was her again, with the tan skin, the brown curly hair. So this was like 2 years after I had that vision, right? So I'm like, okay, this is the 3rd time I'm seeing this little girl, but I don't know why she keeps showing up to me because she's not my child. Like, I'm not having a girl. Who is she? And all of my kids have blonde hair. So the fact that she has brown curly hair, I'm like, who are you? And why do you keep showing up here? Like, I would love to know. Then, you know what name comes to me? Valerie. Now, when I get the name Valerie, I know that's her name. That is her name. So the first time she comes to me, she told me Cassidy, but I think that was just for the synchronicity to show me this is real, right? Because I had that validation of like curly haired one and with her curly hair. Because back then I was so new to this stuff that I think I would have just thought I was making it up. And that's why Spirit decided to give me the validation of like the name, right? But now I think she was telling me her true name. Like, you don't need this validation anymore. Here's my real name. My name is Valerie. So I'm like, okay, your name is Valerie. Interesting. She goes, Valerie Rose. Okay, Valerie Rose. I don't know why you're showing up to me. Anyways, I haven't figured it out yet. But you know what I think? You know what I really think? I think it's my grandchild. I think it's my grandchild because she came to me when I was pregnant with my first, and she came to me when I was pregnant with my second, and she came to me when I was pregnant with my third. But why? I think she was my grandchild. I think she's gonna be my firstborn grandchild. That's what I think. So she's on a card. She made it on a card. There she is, Valerie, and that's what she looks like with all the purple around her. And it's so crazy to see her on a card because like I've seen her in spirit so much, and now she's like I can see her like almost. It's crazy. Anyways, I'm going to read you what the poem says. It says, a premonition, only a few hear. A trusting leap of faith, have no fear. When windows shut and lights are off, visions are clear. Trust your gut. Don't scoff. Don't shy away. Your destiny awaits. Embrace the signs and open up the gates. Okay? So that is the story of Valerie. If you like this deck, though, and you want to get your own oracle deck with all of these poems, I'm going to link it right here.